Hi, and welcome to the Ascended Thread podcast, higher guidance woven into everyday life and healing. I'm Andrea Clem from The Way Home to You.
And I'm Dana Swazo with One Thread Healing.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about something that we both really enjoy and is near and dear to our hearts, and that's sound healing.
Yes, yes. And this is take two.
Yeah. It is. We did
It's all good.
this
Yeah,
one
we
before,
we
and now
said
we're
we,
doing it
we said
again.
we are going to welcome bloopers and all, but stuff happens too. So this is take two, and it's probably going to be even more amazing because it
Absolutely.
just the last one just was not meant to be, I guess.
Absolutely. Um, and And at least it's a topic that we are very passionate about, that we can talk about it multiple times and share it in our everyday life. We do it
Right,
as both of us
exactly.
um, host different events monthly where we play sound baths and incorporated it into our other practices like Reiki and things like that as well.
Hmm.
Um, sound healing at its core, there's so many different instruments, and we'll get into that as well. But it's really all about the vibration and the frequency that's put off and how the body responds to that.
Right.
That's, I think, where the healing part comes in. Um, I'm sure you can all think of even songs or things like that that you listen and they can evoke emotions. They can make you so happy and energized, or something that can make you cry instantly, and how your body can respond differently. And so, just like that in regular music, attending a sound bath or using these kind of instruments, they can invoke and move and do all sorts of things to us.
Exactly. I think both of us have come to appreciate how deeply, with our healing work, the power of sound is, because sound is vibration, and vibration is really the language of the universe. Everything in creation is vibrating at some level. And so our bodies, our emotions, our thoughts, and our energy fields, it just helps to bring the vibration back at its, normal rhythm. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I know both of us evolved from being Reiki healers to being sound healers. So it didn't take us long to kind of grow into that.
Totally. And what really got me into it was being a participant.
Mhm.
And I think that's how I get into a lot of things, get to experience it. But I would attend sound baths, and there'd be times I felt like every single cell in my body was dancing independently to those vibrations. And it was so magical. And I'm like, wow, I really want to know what's going on here. And so that's what piqued my interest and got me into it. And, I love it. I think it helps people. It provides a way for them to relax and reset. And I get to receive at the same time as I'm playing too. I think there's so many benefits, whether you're really laying down and totally receiving as a participant, or still more conscious, I guess I'd say. You still feel it in the body, and you still receive the benefits.
Hmm. Yeah, because the body naturally wants to come back into harmony with those frequencies. So yes, it's amazing how much
So,
sound makes. And I know I've always, enjoyed music ever since I was a little girl because my parents were big into music. And so, we'd always have the vinyl records on
mhm.
and concerts and stuff. But it is interesting how even how much sound can affect us because I laugh because and I didn't realize how much sound affects me, but
Mhm.
I, there's teachers like, workout teachers that, or fitness instructors, I should call them, at the gym that like are perfectly lovely and they, do well, classes well. But if their music that they play
Mhm.
just doesn't resonate with me, I cannot get into the class.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how like, sound can make you gravitate to someone or kind of have a and repulse is a strong word, but like kind of like I just not motivated. So it
Yep.
is interesting.
Definitely, definitely. So, and um, even like some sounds can make you feel physically icky, and
Right.
and it doesn't have to be musical sounds. I guess it could be like high pitched tones. All these different things are playing into that sound or music, right? And then there's ones that you can listen to. I know there's plenty of apps out there nowadays
Mhm.
where people are listening to different frequencies to whether it's address certain um, ailments or emotional issues or to bring in abundance, all different kinds of stuff. There's so many things that are becoming popular nowadays um, around sound and uh, getting what I don't want to say getting what you want, but whether it's health or abundance and all these different kind of things. So it's
Right.
definitely becoming mainstream and into the presence because I think people are also looking for so many different alternative ways of addressing things today.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One thing I did want to talk about today for people that maybe have never attended a sound bath or not, but is what to expect in a sound bath and kind of what happens. Um, and I can kick that off if you want.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
wanted
Yeah.
to talk about
Because
that.
because I was even going to ask you to address that because I'm sure there's times in your sound baths you've had some because you were talking about how some sounds can even give us an icky feeling. So I'm sure you've had that question, like people say, I got like a pain, like almost pain in my body, and then it went away. So yeah, I
Yeah.
would be, yeah, what do you tell people? Because I'll say something, follow up afterwards, but I wanted to hear what you had to say
Sure.
about that.
Well, to address that question itself, like if there is a sound or like one of the bowls that just do not resonate and it sounds awful or it brings up something. A lot of times I think it's actually the area that needs the work. And
Hmm.
that's why it's not processing right at first, and that's what's really doing the work. Sometimes some people in the community say that the sound bowls correspond to different chakras.
Hmm.
And so if there was one that corresponded to that chakra, perhaps that's the one that's out of alignment. And so what I tell people is to do is to lean into it, lean into that feeling, get curious and breathe into it and knowing that perhaps it's actually serving you versus like something that's bad or wrong.
Right. Because as the sound does work through that area, they do find that like, oh, at first it was painful, but you like super painful. And then they're like, and then it just like, whew, and it's like, yeah, because the body or the frequency and the body worked through it, whatever needed to be released, and then it released, and then you felt better.
Yes, because that's one thing I don't know that we've said yet, but these frequencies, these vibrations, what they can do is shift energetic blocks within our system.
Mhm.
Where our chi or our life force is not flowing as it naturally did originally. And so that's why you might feel the discomfort. That's why you might like feel emotions. There's times that emotions might come up during a sound bath or something like that. And again, my suggestion is to lean into that without a story or anything like that, but be open and allow, because that's how we do shift things. But so for anybody that hasn't attended a sound bath, really all you do is come and be. There's no job. Most of the time, people participants are laying down. They could be seated. They could be what's ever comfortable for you
Right.
to have the best experience. But and if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes, and the facilitator will play different instruments, whether it's crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, gongs, um, chimes. So many different instruments can be involved. But what it does is shift from that fight or flight or stress that we tend to live in a lot more, put you into rest and digest. And, it helps the nervous system that way, and it helps your body begin to repair things and all of that. So I think that's why it can be such a magical experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And another aspect I love about sound is how it helps us connect with higher frequencies. Throughout history, spiritual traditions have used chanting or sacred tones and
Yep.
instruments in ceremony, and sound helps us attune our own vibration to more refined spiritual energies. So that's why in the new class that Cindy and I are teaching in our angelic alchemy, Reiki, and sound healing class, we explore how sound can support healing not only on the physical level, but also on the energetic and spiritual levels. And like you said, it even helps with like our nervous system and other systems within our body. So
Yep. Yeah. And you're right, it does connect us to those higher beings, those higher frequencies. And sometimes, even if feedback that I've received is even if the mind doesn't quiet, what they noticed is the sometimes the messages that they receive that do come in are a higher. I'd say messages or, something that they feel like their higher self was communicating to them because they did get into this more relaxed state, even though it wasn't like a quiet mind meditation, but they've received these higher messages as well. So yeah, it can be a really neat experience. And just like a lot of things, I think the more you do something like this, whether it's a sound bath, a meditation, breath work, energy work, whatever it is, the more you do this, the more the benefit like multiplies and the more you receive out of it.
right, right. And it's interesting because I know someone who took the angelic alchemy class, and someone in the metaphysical community. She said, like, the outside world of what's going on in our world right now
Mm.
is really affecting her. And so she has found, like, even listening to Christian music, just has been calming her down a lot lately. She's like, that's a thing that's been really helping me more than anything. And it's funny because I just saw an article from Jenny McCarthy
Mhm.
and she said the same thing, but like she's been listening to Christian music to help her like be calm around all this like chaos going on around us.
Yeah, yeah, because it has that impact, right?
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure that not only the instruments, the sounds, and the lyrics are uplifting as well, and
Right.
voices. Because I mean, hey, our voice is a sound healing tool itself, like you had mentioned,
Yes.
chanting or praise or singing hymns, all of that. So.
Yeah. Something as simple as humming or toning can shift your energy. So,
Absolutely. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something that you can do right away, right? If you're having a bad day or stressed out, that even that humming, something like that, it can reset your nervous system. It can and then you're allowed a shift in maybe how you're viewing things. So that's a little tip you could use,
right.
at any time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know in some of our metaphysical groups, we've done the toning thing where someone sits in the middle and we all are in a circle around them and we do the toning,
Yep, yep.
by
Saying the
doing,
word
yeah,
back to them. Yeah,
right, right,
yeah.
right. And how much that person in the middle felt it, like, oh my gosh, really received it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That is another really cool um sound kind of healing
Right.
tool. And then, there's other things that I'll use it like when I'm doing Reiki. There's things like tuning forks that, well, some you can hear very well, others are weighted and then they can be used directly on the body. So that's kind of sends the vibration further in. Yeah. Oh,
I
yay.
just happen to have some sitting right here
Yeah.
by me. So I'm like, oh, here we
Yeah.
go, tuning
Yep,
forks.
so those are regular, the non-weighted ones, but yep, those are tuning forks and are a beautiful example of things you could use. And besides in this kind of community, I know that they use them even in the medical field. My friend's an audiologist. She uses those with some early testing, and I believe they could even use them to see if bones are broken, somebody told
Oh,
me.
wow.
Um, so kind of neat crossover kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
and then there's like, I think I mentioned the Tibetan bowls, which are the metal bowls. And those can be used directly on the body as well. Um, yeah, there's so many different
Did
things.
you have your bowls handy next to you to show?
I if okay, hold on.
Okay.
I have a tiny one.
Sorry, putting you on the
I
spot.
did not, when we taped the first one, I had stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just
And
curious.
this is a little tiny one, and they come in all different sizes. They even have big ones that you can step into. And you'll strike them, and like when you're standing in them, you'll definitely feel that vibration moving up and down your entire
Mhm.
body. But these, can be placed on the body or close to, and the sounds themselves, can
I
help.
didn't go away. I'm right here.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
yeah,
that's a
I was
good
going
one
to show
too.
like chimes too.
Yep.
We both use chimes at our sound baths.
Yep. And
And
the
then you
sound,
can even use like a crystal pyramid.
yes. And I think
Yeah.
we can't hear it very well with the Zoom settings.
Right, right. But that's okay.
But
I just showing real quick some
yeah,
other tools besides the Tibetan bowls and the crystal sound bowls. Yeah.
yeah, so many gongs. Like I don't know if have you ever been to a gong bath, and that one,
Yeah.
holy do you feel it.
Right.
It's very cool. Um, yeah, and I mean, just so many instruments, right? Everything in reality, everything that everybody's using in music, and then ancient things like didgeridoos and like the Merkabas, all different kind of things.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Uh,
Yes.
and what I don't know if we really address this, but the reason this can shift things in the body is through the terms resonance or entrainment, and that's kind of where like will sync when something is originally like, I guess I would say, would sync with an outside thing that's the same. I don't know if you've ever seen those balls that they start off going, the hanging balls, they start off going weird, but then everything starts syncing, or maybe it's um, the thing that keeps music. I don't even know the right terms, but then everything starts to sync together. So that's kind of like what's happening in the body with the cells as well, as it hears these different tones and these different frequencies through resonance. It starts to sink into what I think is more of its original natural state.
Hmm. Right. And obviously, people are becoming more aware of how like great these, sound baths are and how healing they are because people, I know you do a lot of like private sound baths because people are even doing it for as like their bridal showers and or their bachelorette parties. Yeah.
Yep. I think people are looking for um, you know, calming things nowadays.
Right.
I have done, like you said, I did a bachelorette party once, and which is really cool. And I've gone, to people's houses with their friends, and also like, retreats and even corporate events. Companies are looking for things to bring to their employees that are helpful and mindful. And
Exactly.
so, um, yeah, I think it's great. And I will also say all of this stuff you do also, if you have something going on, want to talk to your doctor. These kind of holistic things don't necessarily replace um, medicine, but boy, can they help, and can be a great accompaniment, what's the right word?
Um,
They just go really well with it.
yes, integrate. I was going to say integration, but that's not what word we're looking for either.
Yes, it escapes my brain, but
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely can
They
help
work
and
hand in
support.
hand together.
That's beautifully said. Um, yeah. Um,
And the one thing that's important to know before attending a sound bath, though, if you have like a heart implant or ear implant, just check with your doctor first before attending one because it could affect your implant.
That's very true. Yeah, there are a few medical conditions like that that you do want to at least consult your doctor first. More so because of like the how the vibrations affect them, right?
Right, right.
Like different implants and stuff. But overall, I think you know, like a sound bath or those types of things, they're okay for the majority of everybody, whether it's a
Hmm.
children, whether it's animals, pets. I will say when I've played at home, my cats and especially my old dog Maggie, she would come and lay right by and listen as I played. So I think they actually really enjoy it and receive as well.
Oh
Kids,
yeah.
well, I think on a shorter span of time for kids because it's hard to be still for a long period of time too. But, you know, I think this is really something that's for almost everybody if they're open to it.
Right, exactly. Because, many spiritual traditions describe creation beginning with vibration or sound. And when we work with bowls, chimes, toning, or voice, we are not simply making music, we are interacting with frequency. And every organ, emotion, and energetic center has its own vibrational signature. So,
Mhm.
sound healing works by introducing coherent frequencies that help the body and energy field remember their natural harmony. So,
Yeah.
yeah, again, it just helps us go back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you talk about your dog. I'm laughing because Drake is like, as soon as I said I was coming up to the Reiki room, he's like, running up there and he's like totally passed out. So just even us like calmly talking about all this, he's like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they feel it. So
Right.
I think that is kind of a little proof, right?
Yeah,
That hey, at least at minimum, it's gonna help chill you out, right? And
right,
everybody could use a little chill out
right,
here and
right,
there.
right.
Every day.
Yes.
And so there's lots of resources out there too. There's
Uh-huh.
many sound baths or like the frequencies and different things that you could listen to for free on YouTube, on different apps, Spotify, whatever. So there are a lot of free resources out there that you can listen to these things and receive.
Mhm.
I do feel like being when in person, you might feel them a little bit more, feel
Right.
vibration through your body. So if you have the opportunity to check one out close by you, I suggest trying it.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
and maybe you'll be surprised at how you feel.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they sleep better after.
Oh, yeah, that's the one thing everyone always tells me is I slept so good last night after
Yeah.
receiving a sound bath. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the great benefits for sure. And yeah, I mean, you could even buy yourself a little bowl or a little chimes or whatever, you know, and bring something that helps bring some relaxation into your life or just some peace for a moment. Maybe it's a way to redirect your thoughts or help bring your emotions back into check and things like that too.
Right. And I'm kind of laughing because I know we've talked about this before. Like, how often do we, like, do things for others, sound healing for others, but not for ourselves? And or we always say, I always teach my students that all the time, and yet I don't, I sometimes forget to practice it myself.
Yep.
And so I'm kind of laughing because, I woke up with this stiff neck like a few days ago that I'm still struggling with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have been doing like sound forks on them or something,
Yep.
sound forks on it or
You
something.
totally should have.
Tuning forks. Yeah.
And I yeah, we actually we say that to each other a lot. That we have all these really cool tools, but then we forget to actually use them on ourselves for.
Yeah, because we're so busy helping others and we just, yeah, but we got to be better about
Yep.
it.
Yes. Yeah,
Practice what we preach, right?
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And we're human.
Yes, yes. And, hey, why not? Because it'll make our life easier.
Yeah,
Like if it can help my stiff neck, hey, why not?
absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, well, is there anything else that
I
you,
don't think so. I think we pretty thoroughly covered everything. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to write a question in the comments. And, we love for you to like and subscribe to our channel.
yeah.
We just enjoy talking about topics of all different types to make it fun and also informative at the same time. So,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So thanks for listening today. And again, like she said, any questions, drop them in because we love to talk about all this kind of stuff. So thanks for listening. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with a guest
yes,
and talking about something hopefully really cool.
yes,
Uh,
I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure it will be. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.
Bye.